welcome to the PhD Forum on how to free your mind and your health will follow. That's right, we're talking about a healthy brain for a healthy lifestyle today. And I am more than excited to be here with you. I am Donna Medina, the owner and trainer of Gymnanigans Boxing, Fitness, and Strength Training in Northern California, where I help people of all ages develop a higher level of fitness for their environment. And that's exactly what we're discussing today. How can we get a higher level of fitness for our brain, for our environment, which is life? Okay, we need our brain, right, as we go through this aging process. So hopefully there's some things that you learn along this journey and that'll help you throughout the aging process. Please feel free to input your comments, questions. This is a journey for both of us, so be a part of the conversation. Okay, let's go. So today we're going to discuss the brain. What is brain health risk and threats, the 6 pillars of brain health, and then we'll get into 2 of those pillars, exercise and nutrition, and then we'll end it with some brain health regimen, something that we can implement in our lives, especially since the holidays are coming, that's going to help us be successful throughout the new year and beyond. All right, so the brain, there's so many definitions out there in regards to the brain and what it does. So I got this definition from Medical News Today. It's a website that's verified. So there's those that are in the industry that write articles for this website, and it goes through peer revision. So you always want to make sure that the information that you get is verified. But the brain is the human body's control system. So with a control system, you have input and output, the brain being the output, and it's part of the central nervous system, which controls the body. It connects to the spine and controls personality, movement, breathing, and other crucial processes that keep us alive. It's the most complex organ in the body. All right. It's important to know it's an organ. Sometimes you might hear, oh, your brain is a muscle, but the brain doesn't have muscle fibers. However, muscles are organs. All right. It's important to know that because we got some trivia already. I know we just got started, but all right, here we go. So the brain is an organ. So there's 77 other organs in the human body. How many can you name? So go ahead and put that in the chat box and see what we come up with. I'll help you out. Skin, hair, mouth, tongue. What else? Yes, there we go. Heart, liver, absolutely. What else we have here? Come on, what are some of the vital? Yeah, spleen, kidneys, you got it. Let's do a few more. This is fun. The bladder, love it. One more. Skin, bones, love it. You are absolutely correct. These are all good, and you can Google it online to see what it is. Now, you might find, or you might see online that it says 80 organs in the body. They're always discovering more and more, but 78 is the major information that's out there. If you look for it, 78 organs. So we're just going to go with that. Okay, so here's some internal organs: the pharynx, larynx, heart, arteries, muscles, liver, gallbladder, kidneys, skeleton, intestines, urinary bladder, pancreas, vein, stomach, bone marrow, spleen, lungs, lymph nodes, and today what we're talking about is the brain. And as you can see, the brain has 2 hemispheres, right? And we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we go deeper into the brain, I want you to know that science says we have 5 vital organs, okay? The brain, of course, being one of them: the heart, kidney, stomach, and liver. I came across some very important research in regards to the heart and the other organs. Some organs we can actually live without or half of. People have actually lived without a heart, maybe for a few seconds or minutes, and they gotten heart transplants or used artificial heart. With the brain, I came across some information that people are actually born with it's not like a deformed brain, or it's not formed completely, but they have the cavity of where the brain is, and they have brain fluid, which is very interesting. And of course, you can have a liver transplant, and the liver actually grows. I didn't know that. The liver tissue can actually grow. That's amazing. And of course, you know about kidney transplants, half a kidney. So I just thought I'd throw that out there for some trivia so you know that. All right, so let's go to these 2 hemispheres in the brain. I don't know if you've ever been asked if you left or right brain before, but they say that the left brain is more analytical and the right brain is more creative. But I try to think about it. I'm more right brain than left brain, but of course, we need both of these to work. So do me a favor. Are you more left or right or both of them? Let me see something. Come on. Left or right or both? Comments. I like that. Okay, Ruthie, right, left. Okay, Samaya, both. Thank you. That's right. Participation. I love it. All right, mostly left. I like it both. Okay, let's keep moving on. So the brain, el cerebro, all right, that's Espanol. All right, there are 6 areas of the brain, okay? Within these different areas, there's functions. So you have the frontal lobe, temporal lobe, brain stem, cerebellum, occipital lobe, and parietal lobe. And within these areas, you have your thinking, your breathing, respiratory, vision, color perception, and brain stem. And so it's very important that as we move forward, you'll see why it's important that we have a brain health regimen to keep our brain active, to keep it alive. Basically, look at everything that it does for us. All right. So since we know a little foundation of the brain, let's go into some brain health. So I have 3 definitions of brain health, and they're still trying to get more information on what brain health is. But with these 3 definitions, I think we get a better insight on what brain health really is. So according to the CDC, brain health is as the ability to perform all the mental processes or cognition, that's the understanding, knowledge and understanding, including the ability to learn and judge, use language, and remember. Now, the Center for Brain Health, they've been through so many definitions of brain health. At one time, they was just concentrating on disease and deficiencies. But they came to the conclusion that brain health is making the most of your capacity to live in life. It's a good definition, but it's really not telling me much, and it's saying, what is my capacity? I really don't know that, right? Now, the WHO, World Health Organization, their definition speaks to me, and hopefully it speaks to you. It's the state of brain functioning across cognitive, sensory, social, emotional, behavior, and motor domains, allowing the person to realize, see, that's a process, realize their full potential over the life course. That's the aging process, right? Irrespective of the presence or absence of disorders. So it's saying, look, I can have a certain level of brain health while I go through this aging process, regardless if I have a condition or what have you, right? I like that definition. Good job, WHO. Let's move on. We have more trivia. Get ready. Are you ready? Okay. So we talked about the brain. Just a little bit, and then we talked about brain health. So what do you think are some of the possible threats and risks to brain health? So go ahead and input that, and I'm going to read them out. Injury, perfect. Alcohol, oh, I got a story for you. Stress, absolutely. Yes. Stroke, yes. What else we have? Oh, yes, I like that. Sugar, absolutely. Environment, poor diet, nutrition. We're all on the right track. These are all threats. We have any other ones? No water. Yep, part of nutrition, absolutely. Water shrinks the brain. No water, not water. The lack of water, lack of sleep. That's it. Lack of exercise. Deprivation, absolutely. All right, you're all on track. Thank you very much. So, okay. Here's some risk. And I got a story to tell you. Hopefully it doesn't take you down, but I just want to drive the point home, and it's a story that's very near and dear. So some of these risks and threats are actually lifestyle risks and threats that we can possibly stay away. I know most of us may not have these lifestyle habits. However, if you know someone who does or anybody around you, so age is a risk, right? We can't do anything about age. We go through this aging process, and as we age, the muscle starts to shrink. I apologize. It's true, muscles shrink, but the brain is what? An organ. So the brain starts to shrink. So you have brain atrophy, okay? That's when it starts to shrink. And then you smoking, which is lifestyle and excessive use of alcohol. So I knew a man who, great man, went to work, took care of his family. However, he was a habitual smoker and he was an alcoholic. He actually was a GM at a tobacco company, Philip Morris Tobacco Company. Great man, took care of his family. He was considered an functioning alcoholic. So when he would take care of his family, whatever, come home for dinner, he would go to the bars and drink. All right, this does have an ending to it. Okay, he would go to the bars and drink. So when he would come home, he would get in car accidents. So if you look at the bottom, brain injuries and concussions, that's a risk. So one day as he was getting ready from work in 1985, he had a stroke, fell down in the bathroom, went to the hospital, found out he had a brain aneurysm. All right. In all of this, the doctors realized because of his lifestyle, because of the smoking, the drinking, and the car accidents, the brain aneurysm was called. Now, aneurysm is when the blood vessels pop in your brain. All right. He had this operation, right? I walked in the room. Hey, Dad, how are you doing? He was doing good, sitting up in bed, bandage around his head, but he was smoking, okay? 1985 in the hospital smoking. After that day, that's the last day I saw him, he went into a coma and he passed away. All right. Now, I'm telling you this story because lifestyle has a lot to do with our life, right? How we go through the aging process. He possibly could have lived longer if he didn't drink and smoke excessively. And you might be thinking, this has nothing to do with me. I don't drink and smoke, but what about nutrition? Is there some things that we're doing that we're overindulging in? Like, are there certain drinks that we're maybe drinking? I'm going to say like rock stars, energy drinks, these different things that are affecting our brain, but we don't see the effects immediately, right? But our latter end, no telling what it's doing to our kidneys. Maybe we're malnutrition. Malnutrition is not just about not eating, right? It's not eating the right things when you actually have access to them. So I just wanted to tell you that story, not to bring you down, but just to drive a point home. And I'm talking to me 100%, because sometimes I'll like, okay, I need some energy. Let me go to, it's okay. I know how to sweat it out, but still I'm hurting myself. So just something to think about. And then there's other risks to where we may not have any control over, like heart disease. That might be something that runs in our family, diabetes, Alzheimer's, neurocognitive disorders, Parkinson's, stroke. Depression is a risk to our brain health. Insufficient sleep. Have you ever had like a lack of sleep and then tried to do something and you was unable to do it, but it's something that you do on a regular basis? Like for me, I might show my client how to do a certain exercise, but if I haven't had sleep, I'm doing it wrong. One time I actually did that. I was trying to show my client a balanced exercise. I think I had 2 hours sleep out of a 24-hour period of some things going on. I almost failed. I had to catch myself. And I knew it because my cerebellum, I was off kilter. So insufficient sleep can impair your driving, can impair your work. It's a lot of things that can occur. Lack of physical activity, lack of social activity. I know some people may have social anxiety. It's kind of hard to get around folks or activities. But the thing is that when you're not by yourself, you're with other people, you're talking, critical thinking, you're sharing ideas. There's dopamine and serotonin that's being released that's actually helping your brain. So it's, it's not good to be alone. Now, when I say alone, you don't have to be in a room with someone. You can talk to them on the telephone. Okay, brain injuries, concussions. I really got interested in brain injuries when I was studying about athletes, especially boxers, when they would have, they get knocked down, their brain gets rattled. So that's what a concussion is. Your brain gets rattled. And you can lose consciousness, and that is the oxygen to your brain. So that is very detrimental. Some medicines is a risk to your brain health. Some medicines cause hallucinations, like if you and proper use of them as well. So let's say for ADHD medications, if you take too much of that can send you to a spiral, almost like a depression state. Some studies have shown like the depression state, or you start to hallucinate. So it's a lot of different risks that we can see that is a threat to our brain health. All right, let's move on. Do you have any questions, anything? Let's see, great comment. Be sure to change your... All right, any questions? All right, nothing. There are some good points. Great. All right, so let's keep moving on. All right, now let's get into the 6 pillars of brain health, and then we'll talk about 2 of these pillars more. Purposeful exercise, healthy eating, stress management, mental exercise, social connections, and sleep. So today we're talking more about purposeful exercise and healthy eating. All right, so what is purposeful exercise? It's planned, structured, and repetitive. Now, physical activity, exercise is physical activity, but not all physical activity is considered exercise. Like I said, exercise is a PSR. It's planned, structured, and repetitive. What do you mean by plan? Means I know exactly what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? What goal am I trying to reach by doing this? It's structured to where I'm not just randomly doing a freestyle workout or movement. Maybe I'm working on increasing my endurance, increasing my balance. And it's repetitive. It's exercise that's done maybe 2 to 3 days a week. All depends on what you're trying to achieve. And it's not like once a month. That's more of a physical activity if you exercise once a month. Physical activity is good. I like for you to be active. However, if you have a goal that you're trying to reach, let's make it repetitive, structured, and planned. So remember, PSR, okay? All right, so what does exercise do to the body if it's planned, structured, and repetitive? It can lower cholesterol, reduce your A1C, lower blood pressure, improve mood, and it can increase your muscle to fat ratio, increase your muscle to fat ratio. If I said it backwards, it could decrease your fat to muscle ratio. All right, so it's one thing to know what it does, but how does it do it? So let's talk about lowers cholesterol. All right, with cholesterol, there's 2 types. You have your HDL and your LDL. LDL being what we call your bad cholesterol. I remember it like if I'm taking the test, LDL, low down, okay? Bad cholesterol. And your HDL, that's your good cholesterol. So you want more HDL. In regards to numbers, you want your HDL numbers to be higher than your LDL numbers. So when you're exercising, this is fantastic. When you exercise consistently, not just one day, this is over time, like 90 days, 100 days, half a year, your body creates enzymes, and these enzymes takes the LDL, pushes it into your bloodstream. Now, this is a simplistic version of it. Pushes it to your bloodstream, all right? Takes it down to your liver. Down to your liver, converts it to bile, and then it's excreted. What? That's what happens. That is great. Go body go, right? All right. So with how it reduces your A1C, you can actually start producing more natural organic insulin. Improves your mood. You start to, now it can improve your mood permanently and temporarily. So let's say you are having one of these days to where you just don't feel good. You know, traffic was bad, work was bad, everything's bad, your mood is bad, you woke up in a bad mood. Okay, when you exercise, all right, in the first 10 to 20 minutes, all depends, this is general information, it all depends on what type of exercise you're doing. Serotonin is released, dopamine is released, endorphins. What? That's what happens. Now, there has been studies to say that after 90 days, okay, you can have like a permanent mood change. These are for those that are in a depressive state. Now, it don't mean you're going to be happy all the time. I'm happy no, it doesn't mean that you're going to be happy all the time, but you're going to, you're going to be in a good mood when you exercise. So that's something to consider. Now, muscle to fat ratio, you want more muscle in our body to fat, especially as we age, because the muscle starts to break down. But when you have a lot of fat in your body, what could happen is that can squeeze your internal organs, and it holds various diseases. So that's something to consider as well. All right, so how does it help with your memory? So when you exercise, you can enhance your memory, enhance cognition, that's your understanding of knowledge, improve learning. Isn't that something? Improve learning. We all like to learn, right? But have you ever had times like, I just don't know what's happening here? I can't retain the information. Maybe you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain, right? And we're going to learn something in just a second about how exercise really helps. And it boosts your thinking. Everybody wants elevated thinking, right? I like that. But how does this happen? So there's a protein in our brain called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Oh my goodness, it helps with the synapses in our brain. It just really helps us to learn, to pay attention, to concentrate. So we have Dr. Thompson in this video. He's going to really show us or tell us how BDNF helps our brain. So let's take a look at that.
Exercise is interesting in terms of effects on the brain because it works in about 4 or 5 different ways. One of the most obvious ways is blood flow. And so if you get your heart working, your brain's going to be filled with oxygen-rich blood and nutrients. So that's the main way that we thought it helps. The other way that's sort of interesting is it's been thought that exercise produces new neurons. And so exercise induces the production of growth factors, one's called BDNF. And it actually stimulates the production of new brain cells. Now, when I was in school 20 years ago, we were told you can't get any new brain cells. So when you're born, that's your lot. You're not going to make any more. But more recently, we found that exercise is a really good way of stimulating brain cell production. And some of these are functional. And so just this notion that something that you can do can generate new brain cells is a really great thing to think about. So we were wondering why exercise helps the brain. And one theory is it just reduces stress. So maybe it's not that your blood is coming to the brain, maybe you're less stressed, and then, and that was something that imaging allowed us to test. And so we scanned a whole lot of people with high cortisol levels. So if you're stressed, if you're angry about something, or even if you're stuck in traffic, your cortisol levels can be very high. And one of the things we found is that the people with high cortisol levels lost brain tissue faster. Well, that's a serious problem. So as soon as you know that's true, you can look at ways of reducing your cortisol. And so that's a very easy thing to do. I mean, we can get less stressed by exercising, walking, taking breaks. And so imaging established a physical connection between something in your blood, the cortisol that's a sign of stress, and actual physical changes in the brain. That's very useful to know. Take care of your brain, and there's a lot of ways we know that you can take care of your brain. You can eat a good diet, you can exercise, you can reduce stress, you can make sure you're well educated. And these things just build up a sort of mental bank account for the future. And so even though it seems like work is hard, I mean, you're building a store of brain connections that you'll need for the rest of your life. So these are practical messages that we've learned from imaging a lot of people. So.
Didn't you enjoy that? A mental bank account. Come on now. That was great. Clap it up for that. Mental bank account. All right, so remember BDNF, when we exercise, there's some great things that's going on internally, all right? That's what we're trying to do, save the brain and create new synapses. So let's keep moving on. All right, so what type of exercises can we engage in that's going to help us to have a healthy brain? You know what I'm about to say, right? Boxing, that's right. All right, so boxing is aerobic, resistance, flexibility, and neurocognitive plus neuromotor. All of that. However, with aerobic exercise, what's happening in your brain, you're getting the oxygen is going to your brain, the red blood cells, all of that is being rejuvenated. It's a great situation. Resistance training. Now with resistance training, the same process, but it's usually a slower process. Aerobic training is usually like 80% of your maximum heart rate that you're in that when we're talking about levels of training. Resistance training is a little bit lower, which means your heart rate is it's not fluctuating that much. And of course, with flexibility, it's not as well. However, we need all of this, not just for our brain, but for our physicality, right? We're aging. Some things are happening that we just don't see. But hey, we got to protect it, and exercise is one way to do that. Now, neurocognitive and neuromotor. So neurocognitive exercises are those that's going to help you learn, that's going to help you think and concentrate. Now, how does boxing do that? I'm not a boxing advocate, but hey, this is one sport I do kind of know. So what happens, let's say I have somebody with Parkinson's, okay? So Parkinson's is a neurocognitive disorder to where it's breaking down your brain cells. However, I can get someone that's unable to concentrate more because they're throwing punches at me. Now, not just throwing punches freestyle to where each punch has a number. So you have a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So as I give the person a complex combination, they have to think about it, right? And they have to time it, and they have to coordinate their arm movements with it. Isn't that amazing? Some great things are happening with boxing fitness. Now, I'm not talking about getting in the ring or anything like that. All right. So what about neuromotor? Neuromotor is the exercise that's going to help with balance, agility, not endurance to a certain degree, but it's more balance, agility, and coordination. All right. I want to know your favorite physical activity and type of exercise. If you say boxing, Ruthie said boxing. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Let's keep on going. Okay. Spinning, bike, walking. Okay. Biking, walking. I like walking. Oh, I like to dance too. You just don't know. I like to move and groove. Okay. So let's talk about neurocognitive drills that we can do. All right. So like I said, with boxing, eye movements, you're looking, you're seeing which way is this punch coming. Okay. Eye teaming drills to where, let's say I'm throwing a ball against the wall. I have to see where that ball lands and catch the ball. Eye and hand coordination drills as well. All right. I have something for you. This is a neurocognitive exercise drill. So I want you to put up your thumb on either hand, left or right. Opposite hand, your index finger, okay? You're going to put your thumb down, index finger out, index finger in, thumb up. Go back and forth. Are you doing this? It's not you. Do you understand how long I had to practice to get this fast? And I have to concentrate. If you're honest, yeah, this is so hard. Exactly, it is, right? Because you're using both sides of your brain, first off, and there's some other things that are going on. Yes, it's not easy. I'm not doing it very well. Practice it. If you practice it, you'll get faster with it. It's a nice exercise to do. You have some downtime. You're in front of the TV. The commercial is on. Okay, look away and do it. Sometimes I have to close my eyes and do it. But that's a great drill. I just wanted to share that with you, share it with others. All right. Now, Tai Chi is a neuromotor exercise and neurocognitive exercise to where you're not just moving your arms, you're moving your feet at the same time that you're moving your arms. You're thinking about it. You're learning something. You're doing critical thinking. Now, this is a light intensity exercise, so heart rate is about 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Now, when I say maximum heart rate, here's an easy way to figure it out. It's 220 minus your age, okay? There's a longer equation, but this is a shorter one. 220 minus your age, that's what we would call your maximum heart rate. And then you would take a percentage of that. All right, like 50 to 70% if you're trying to have just a low intensity, you don't want to go too high. Okay. So Tai Chi also helps with improving reasoning, planning, memory, and problem solving. So this is a little video that we have from the doctors. This is about 3 minutes. It's going to give you more information on how Tai Chi can help your brain. So let's watch it.
You may know that Tai Chi can help clear your mind, but new research published in the Journal of Neuroimaging proves it can physically improve it as well. The study followed adults in a 12-week Tai Chi program, measuring their brain health with MRI scans. They found significant increases in a marker of neuronal health in the brain. So, if you're looking for something new to try, consider Tai Chi. In fact, we're all about it. We're going to try it now. We're joined by Tai Chi master Chi Chen, who's going to go ahead and come on up here and demonstrate some simple moves for us as we bid you adieu for the day.
Well, didn't you enjoy that Tai Chi? And what's important to know about Tai Chi is not just the movement. You actually can build muscle by doing Tai Chi because of isometric movements. When you're planted, your feet are planted, there's resistance there. So it's a great exercise, especially if you're looking for something that's going to help with flexibility and you don't want anything that's going to increase your heart rate majorly. Like different ones who may have open heart surgery or may have high blood pressure and different things like that, Tai Chi is recommended. And there's different versions of it. You can do a long versions like 120 some movements or a short version like 28 movements or so to where it only takes about 15 minutes a day. So it's great, it's great, it's great. All right, let's keep on moving. Do we have any questions here? This was great. Yes, Tai Chi. Okay. Yes. How can you explain how exercise can help with your hormonal balance? Okay. So there are different hormones in the system. I'm going to give you a very elementary version of it because that's where I can go with it. All right. So there's various hormones in the body. Cortisol being a stress hormone. All right. So when we're stressed out, when you get, let's say that flight or fight comes into play to where, okay, there's traffic, I got to get to work. There's cortisol that builds up and that enters our bloodstream and goes to our brain, right? So you're making your brain cells decrease quicker. That's how I understand it. Now, and plus, when you're going through menopause, right, you have lower estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone as well. We can have temporary memory loss to where you walk into a room and it's like, I forgot. We can go through that stage to where, okay, your brain cells didn't necessarily die, but it's because you have a lower level of estrogen in your body to where you just don't remember certain things, plus other situations are going on. So that's a simplified answer to that. Okay. Some experts recommend a plant-based diet as preventative for dementia. Can you address that? Now, I have seen different studies in regards to that because they say saturated fat when you have a lot of triglycerides and saturated fat, it can damage the brain, right? And we can see different evidence of that. So they say that if we decrease our eating of pork, potato chips, cakes that are not made correctly, made with artificial everything, that this gets in our bloodstream that causes our brain to atrophy. Now, some things are genetic as well. And then I don't know exactly if let's say you're in the process, you have the neurocognitive disorder already. That's another phrase of saying dementia, a neurocognitive disorder, if you can actually stop it or, revive your brain cells. I don't know about that, but I did hear a study to where, let's say you have Alzheimer's, they can give you a shock and it helps, you remember. I don't know. I'm going to be the first person in line for that one for sure. All right. How do you know if you have high cortisol? Cortisol, is there a test? Yup, there are tests. If let's say you're part of the HMO, you can say, hey, doc, I want a test. I want to check my cortisol levels. They might, resist because they got to pay for that stuff. But hey, let them know it's important. I feel like something's wrong. I need my cortisol checked. Yeah, at that time, maybe you want to get all your levels checked. But then there's a company to where you can actually get your levels checked. Oh, what am I thinking? PhD? What am I? Yes. You go through the PhD program and you can get all that checked. They got the professionals on board for you. Okay. When we talk about exercise and movement, how long each day should someone exercise? And should it be a combination of different types of exercise? Oh, okay. I like that question. Absolutely. It should be. I don't think you should, although I, like boxing fitness, I don't think it should be studies. It's not about what I think. Studies show you should have cardiovascular exercise, that's your aerobic, and resistance exercise. Cardiovascular exercises alone don't help with your muscle fibers, okay? So you want your muscle fibers to increase or stay at a certain level. And plus aerobic, you want to keep your lungs and your heart, in tip-top shape. Now, they say 30 to 40 minutes of exercise, but you have to, with that information, okay, that's a nice standard, but how old are you? What conditions do you have? What is your actual fitness age? There's a test for your fitness age, okay? What are you trying to achieve? I can get someone all of that aerobic and strength training in 20 minutes. And someone might say, that's not enough. Well, if I take out the rest period, if I increase the tempo, decrease the tempo, and a lot of different things increase, maybe the what you call those, dumbbell size, there's a different variables. So let's go with what the WHO says, or the Exercise Federation, 30 to 60 minutes of exercise. Okay. Supplements to help. I like supplements. But before you take a supplement, you should talk to your medical provider. I knew someone who said, I'm going to take someone really close to me. I'm going to take calcium supplements. It worked against them to where their bones, they had like an extra layer of calcium. It was something they did. They had to push back on the calcium supplements. So with that said, always consult your medical provider before you take supplements. All right. So, hey, we're going to keep on moving, shall we? I like those questions. Keep them coming. All right. You know what? We're about to hit this second pillar right here. Let's talk about nutrition because I'm hungry. All right. What is nutrition? Is it just about what we eat or how we eat? It's about eating a healthy and balanced diet. But what is that? It's so much in regards to nutrition. I tell you, oh my goodness, nutrition can work against you or for you. We want it to work for us, especially when we're talking about brain health. All right, here's a definition of healthy eating. Eating a variety of foods that give you the nutrients you need to maintain your health, feel good, and have energy. I like how it says the nutrients you need. Let's say some food is healthy. Let's take oatmeal, for instance. Not everybody can eat. It's considered healthy, right? Healthy oats, it slows down. It doesn't convert to sugar as quickly. So your glucose numbers doesn't, go up high. Like with a donut, you eat a donut, you like spikes really high. And then you're like, you're tired at the end of the day. Not even at the end of the day, like 20 minutes after you eat it. So oatmeal breaks down slower. But some people cannot digest oatmeal. So is that healthy for them? I think not. But I like oatmeal. I like it with a little bit of blueberries too. All right, so nutrition. Nutrition includes micronutrients, macronutrients, micronutrients being your vitamins and minerals, macronutrients being your protein, carbs, fat, and water. All right, so we need a variety of these things in order for us to maintain a certain level of brain health and to feel good. All right, so according to a 2018 Clinical Nutrition Journal, the impact of dietary macronutrient, that's your protein, carbs, fat intake, on cognitive function and brain. That's a great study that shows that they took a couple of people, it took two groups of people, various ages, and showed how I don't trust all studies because there's so many variables and you don't know what people are doing behind closed doors when they're in these studies. But it showed how those that didn't eat right, maybe the quality was too high or the quality of their food wasn't, great, that their cognitive function was a little bit lower than those that had good food. But yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, brain function, memory, and concentration. We want our brains to work at an optimum level. Memory, don't we want some great memory and concentration? So good foods, and I'm going to show you some list of good foods. This is not an exhaustive list. That's going to help with those areas. Okay. Brain healthy foods. Now, we know that certain fruits and vegetables, they have phytonutrients. These are nutrients that gives them their color, like green, because of a certain phytonutrient. Polyphenols, that's a combination of nutrients within a particular vegetable or fruit. Blueberries, high in oxidants. Antioxidants fight those free radicals, those little free radicals. I like that word. So you got diseases, different things in your body. Now, not with all diseases, these antioxidants can actually fight against them. Bananas, I know not everybody likes bananas. I like bananas because of the nutrients, but it is caloric heavy, all right? Nevertheless, we're talking about brain health. Bananas has tryptophan in it. So tryptophan is what keeps you kind of calm. You ever had turkey and you ate too much turkey and you tired? That's what tryptophan is. So with the banana, it has a certain level of tryptophan that kind of keeps you mellow. So if I have people that are a little anxious, go get a banana. So, and it's converted to serotonin, and it supports gut function and your mood. So anytime you're feeling like, hey, I'm a little anxious, go get you a banana. But if you're trying to lose weight, I don't know about that. Okay, broccoli. Now, broccoli has vitamins B, E, and K in it. We all like those vitamins. We have fat-soluble vitamins, C and B, and the others are... No, I got that wrong. You have C and B. Vitamin C and B are water-soluble vitamins. Those are vitamins that you just use you intake, and it just gets flushed out your system. Then the other ones are fat-soluble vitamins, to where they are stored in your fat cells. Fat cells, just the word fat is not a bad word, okay? Fat cells. We have fat cells, and we need those. Whole grains. See, I told you about that oatmeal. Oats, quinoa, buckwheat, millet, and barley, all good for brain health. Now, with this said, you always have to look at your quality, quantity, and timing, okay? You just don't want to sit down and scarf down a big bowl of oatmeal and you about to go to bed in 20 minutes. That's not good. Your body's trying to shut down and then you still trying to digest food. That's not good. All right. So let's talk about omega-3 fatty acids, which improves your memory. Oh my goodness. We're talking about flax seeds. Flax seeds not only helps with improving your memory, it helps with estrogen levels. I'm telling you, got low estrogen, make you a smoothie, put that flax seed in it. That chia seeds, walnuts, sardines, mackerel, all has omega-3, and some of these has omega-6 in it. You need the 6 and the 3 together. It has salmon, cauliflower, tuna, kale, Brussels sprouts. These are all good foods for memory. Now, you might ask, how much of this stuff do I need to eat and how long? Don't look at it that way. Look at it, okay, I'm going to have a healthy lifestyle. I'm going to eat healthy, And by me doing this, this is what can happen. All right. Don't look at it 60 days from now. This better happen. I'm going back to my old ways. No, we just going to have a healthy lifestyle, get that brain health, feel good, move good. Right. All right. Brain routine. Are there any questions? Before we talk about a brain routine, let's talk about some questions. Yes. Quality, quantity, and timing. Absolutely. You didn't know that about a banana? Yes, bananas are something else. It's more than just potassium. All right, now let's talk about a brain routine. The holidays are here. All right, there's things that's going to interrupt our schedule. We might be all over the place at work with different events, right? You at home, you have people that are coming over to your house. Some things we need to implement now before this happens. Okay, a brain routine has to be specific to you. All right. The exercise should be specific to your needs. You can't, not everybody can jump off a trampoline and flip and all of that. Okay. We have to find out, what do I need to be healthy and what does my brain need? Understanding and applying the 6 pillars of brain health. I know we only went over 2 pillars, but once you start understanding the pillars, like the exercise, the nutrition, the stress management, who you are works against you. So I'm going to tell you something. Okay, I'm going to unveil. I have social anxiety. No, well, I'm not going to claim it. I used to have social anxiety, like going to meetings or even being in a room, let's say for personal, just going to someone's house and I know a lot of people are going to be there. My brain goes in overdrive. What am I going to wear? What am I going to talk about? Okay, how long are we going to stay? All of this stuff to where, oh my goodness, it's like overload. And it would bother me. It bothered me so bad. It's like, why do I feel like this? And I would commit to go places. And then at the last minute, I'm not going. I'm making up all the excuses. I'm not coming. I'm going to go to work just so I can honestly say I'm at work and not come. So when I realized this was going on, I said, wait a minute, I cannot let this cripple me. So I had to come up with a plan to where, okay, first of all, where's this coming from? I figured out where it's coming from. I'm going to keep that to myself. I figured out where it was coming from, right? And I started fixing it little by little. And it's not just, okay, I went to everybody's house, all the parties, office parties. I didn't do it I just did a little bit at a time, just a little bit. All right. I would think about, okay, when is it? Okay, now shut down. Don't think about it anymore. What am I going to wear? Okay, now shut it down. Don't think about it anymore. So I came up with the plan to where it finally disappeared. I was like, I'm not allowing this to cripple me anymore. Now, when I do get someplace, now my thing is, when am I leaving? Okay. But, hey, it's a work in progress. So if you find out who you are, what's working in you, it helps to come up with a plan or a routine. Okay, we talked about exercise that's specific to you, and focus on nutrient-rich foods or eating. Don't think about, I can't have this, I can't eat this. Think about what you can have. I say visualize the possibilities. Okay, there's so many options out there. We don't have to stay right here, like with our cultural foods or different things like that. We can go outside of that and experiment, even with water. So I know a lot of people don't like water. I have a lot of clients, they just don't like water. So I tell them, challenge yourself. There's different brands of waters out there. Try different brands of waters. Put your fruit in the water. Warm up your water. Just challenge yourself to drink a little bit more each day. Now, that's where the slight edge approach comes into play. So we introduced some things today about exercising, about nutrition, right? So are you going to go out tomorrow and just do everything? You're going to eat all this nutrient-rich food? You're going to do some Tai Chi and boxing? Maybe not. Maybe some of us may be like, I'm going to do all of this right now. But the thing is that we want to do a little bit at a time so we don't get burnt out. All right. Because, when we get information like, man, this is good. If I do this, I'm going to feel like this. But after 2 weeks, 14 days, 30 days, it's like, man, we go right back to where we were. So let's say water, for instance. You want to drink more water. Here's the thing. So figure out how much water you're drinking average on an average day. Maybe you have 16 ounces. That's like a bottle of water. All right. So 16 ounces. That's what I drank today. How about tomorrow, add 4 more ounces to that, right? So now you at 20 ounces. Be consistent with that 20 ounces, add 4 more to that. But have a goal of how many ounces you want to get to and not, just get all this, I'm going to drink a gallon of water every day. No, we're just going to do a little bit at a time, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have this as a lifestyle, not just a temporary fix, not at all. All right, so brain routine. Now, let's see if you have any questions or comments or anything that's on your mind. I'm right here for you. Yes, baby steps. I like that. Baby steps is good. Hot water with a little lemon. Yes, Miss Betty Jones, I have my hot water lemon with some turmeric in it. Now, turmeric, they say that's really good for if you're inflamed on a regular basis, like if you have arthritis, and also for brain health as well. There's some chemicals in there, natural chemicals, that's nutrients that's in the turmeric that's good for our brain. Anything else is great advice. All right. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today, but I do have some resources for you, some fun things that you can do. All right. Lumosity.com if you're looking for cognitive games. Now, my favorite one is humanbenchmark.com. With this website, they have hand and eye coordination drills that you can do. So if you have a touch screen TV or computer, boom, you just touch it like the target. It's super good, and it keeps score for you. So it helps with like I said, your hand and eye coordination. You try to beat your score. So it makes it a little fun while you're trying to increase your brain health. And of course, brain health magazines. My mom actually introduced me to Brains, BRANZ magazine. It's a great magazine. You get a free subscription online, or you can a digital subscription, or you can get a subscription that comes to your home. And it's great. They have various articles in there in regards to brain health, not neurology. Is that the word? Yes. Let's stick to brain. Yes, information and different scientific information that they came up with. Research is super good. I love it. And they have articles, information of people who might have gone through Parkinson's or different conditions and how they've dealt with it. There's a magazine called Mood and Memory. Dana.org is a great website and organization. It's a neuroscience website. And believe it or not, AARP.org. I was mad at them when they sent me a magazine subscription, but you know what? I looked at their magazines. I said, oh, okay, I need this. Thank you very much, AARP. And I appreciate the tote bag, too. All right. So these are some good resources.